This week, we're watching the 2015 season opener between my Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. Coming into this game, we wanted to really establish our identity. It's the season opener. We made a ton of offseason acquisitions and changes. We got rid of Shady McCoy, Jeremy Maclin, Deshaun Jackson's gone, and we filled in those spots with Kiko Alonso, linebacker from the Bills, Byron Maxwell, corner from the Legion of Boom, and DeMarco Murray, who was the league's leading rusher in Dallas that now is coming over in the Eagles jersey. We're trying to see where those pieces fit, and this game, right out of the gate, just exemplified why matchups and players are what win and lose games. Let's get into the tape. So up first, we're down in the red zone. We're on the 8-yard line. The Eagles are in a split safety defense. The Falcons motion down to create some issues with space. Eventually, what they do is create a situation where right now you got Kiko Alonso, the Mike linebacker, who's one-on-one with Roddy White, number 84. They've got the back to the flat, which pulls out the flat defender. You've got a vertical route by the tight end that occupies both the safety and the corner. And now Kiko is one-on-one in the middle of the field against a wide receiver. This is a matchup that you don't want as a defense. And if you're the Atlanta Falcons, this is exactly what you drew up. But what you didn't draw up was when players make plays. And that's why everything on paper doesn't necessarily pan out that way on the field. This is a great play by Kiko Alonso. He's not in a good position, but he doesn't panic. He sees the ball, makes a phenomenal catch, and takes a situation in which the Falcons were trying to attack him and made a huge swing in momentum for his team. That's something that you can't account for, is when players make plays. We talk about matchups. If you've got the best guy in the league, it doesn't matter who's on him. If they leave him one-on-one, you got to give yourself a chance. And right here, we've got Byron Maxwell on Julio Jones. Now, again, coming into this game, Byron Maxwell just got paid a lot to be the corner for the Philadelphia Eagles. So, of course, in this home opener, they want to see how he's going to match up with Julio Jones. But if you're the Atlanta Falcons, you're daring them to go one-on-one because Julio Jones is an established number one receiver and legendary receiver in this game. Matt Ryan looks and sees that the safety is not playing any particular help this way, and you can tell right away, snaps, balls out. Before Julio is even past Byron Maxwell, he puts it in the air, and Julio gets the separation he wants right on the goal line. Between the safety and the corner, there's no opportunity for help. This is just great execution. This is not scheme. This is not anything great. It's just my guy is better than yours. And when life presents those opportunities for you, one, you can expect them to come, or two, you got to take advantage of them. I think everybody in the stadium knew that this ball was going to go to Julio Jones on this play. It's not rocket science. When your guy is better than theirs, give it to him. If I was to grade Byron's technique, he's got good hands, he's square, he's got hands on. It's right here, though, when you're in control, when you're in phase, you have to fight the urgency to look back at the quarterback. Because once you look back, that stops your body mechanics from being able to stay in front of Julio Jones. And you see right when he looked back, his feet stopped, and that's all of a sudden the little bit of space that Julio needed to get back outside, accelerate. And he did that faster than Byron Maxwell could. So if I was coaching this rep, it would just be don't get impatient when you're in a good spot. When you're in a good spot, don't blow it by looking back at the quarterback. Keep your eyes on your coverage, maintain your position, and dominate the down. What makes guarding somebody like Julio Jones so difficult, especially guys like him, Calvin Johnson's, their frame is big, so it's hard to press them and get them off balance. Once they do get into the route, they're just as fast as anybody else. And what I appreciated about Julio's game was his ability to run routes full speed. Not only was he faster than most of the DBs, so he put stress on you by accelerating as fast as he could, but his ability to decelerate and get out of breaks after being full speed is something that a lot of receivers can do. A lot of receivers can run about 80 to 85%. And that allows them to be efficient in and out of their breaks. But when they're running full speed, all of a sudden they trip up or they fall. Julio was one of those guys that can accelerate and decelerate from top speed to nothing at any point in the game, which made it very, very difficult to guard because he's so big and he could catch the ball contested. So it was not much you were going to do to disrupt him. You were really looking for the D-line or your teammates to kind of help out in some other way. Now, matchups aren't always that obvious, right? As the defense, you got to know when you have a mismatch as well, and you can use that against the offense. So we knew in this game that they had began to attack Byron Maxwell. So on 3rd down and 14, we knew they would try to get a chunk play. They had to put the ball down the field. Walter Thurman does a great job of stealing this ball, robbing Matt Ryan by reading his eyes and understanding where the threats on the field are. He starts off to the right, so his body position automatically gives Nolan Carroll some help and discourages Matt Ryan from throwing it to Julio Jones. And you know that once he comes off of Julio Jones, his second read is going to be across field to Roddy White. And Walter Thurman breaks on the ball. He's a free defender. He has no responsibility but to rob Matt Ryan. And he does it to perfection. Absolutely fools him, starting on one side of the field, comes back across, gets the interception, nice return, and a big play to set up the Eagles for a score, putting them down into the red zone already. These are the type of plays that win games, not only because of the possession that was stolen, but because you've also set your offense up to get easy points. That's critical. Walter Thurman is one of my favorite DBs to watch. He's by far one of the most underrated guys that ever put on the pads. If you ever want to go back and watch how to impact a game, check out his tape. And then lastly, we have matchups. When you are completely outmatched, weight and size, there's a few things that can even the scales. So in this play, it's 3rd and 1, space is at a premium, and we know that every yard matters at a critical part in the game, 4th quarter. I'm a free player here, which gives me a little bit of leeway to figure out where I want to attack this Falcons front. They've got all big people in. They got a fullback, tight ends. Roddy White is all the way down into the formation to block people up and get this yard. So I know I've got to hit a soft spot and I've got to do it fast. I time up the snap and I hit it on a run, hoping that the gap would open up for me, but it doesn't. I run into the starting left tackle for the Falcons and have to make a decision. Do I stalemate or do I get small and get upfield? And I think you know what I chose.
Now can the Falcons get it on a run? 3rd and 1, no! Malcolm Jenkins, timeout.
We're dealing with something that's bigger than you. Get small, get leverage. And so what I do is get low, put my back to him and focus on keeping my balance so I don't fall. I resist his pressure, but I get to an edge that doesn't allow him to block me, and I continue to penetrate. And by continuing to work my feet, I get free, put myself right in the backfield to make this tackle for a 4-yard loss on a critical down. When everything on paper says that the Falcons should win this down. If they're going to block this up and they get their starting left tackle on the safety, 9 times out of 10, this is a win for them. But it doesn't always work out like that when the opposition plays with speed and leverage. In these situations, it's 2 minutes and 18 seconds left in a game. You're down. You need the ball back. The Falcons are in their 4-minute offense. So we call this short yardage extra. In a short yardage situation, you don't need your free safety to be 20 yards deep. That's an extra defender you can now use. And so my responsibility essentially is to insert anywhere in the box that is to the side of the back tilt. And so right now you've got the back offset left. And if you see the arrangement of our front, we've actually got all of our big guys. We got 3 of them to head up to the left side of the defense and only 1 big to the right. In a short yardage situation, this is not a good front because you'd see that the Falcons have numbers to the left side, to their left side, our weak side. And so we've got to have disruption. So for me, I have no responsibility. I know I'm going to hit this. I see that this gap is soft for us, and I don't want to wait for anything. So I'm approaching the ball as I know the snap count's about to come, and that way I can hit it on the run. And again, I wasn't expecting to get a tackle, but once you get there, you just got to put your shoulder down, knife through it, get in on the action. This game in particular really just emphasized matchups for me. Matt Ryan is one of those quarterbacks, when you study him, loves to go to the best matchup, especially if that matchup involves Julio Jones. Julio on pretty much any corner in the league was going to be a mismatch, but he also had Roddy White. So if you wanted to double team Julio, then Roddy White would get a ton of individual routes, a ton of one-on-ones. They also still had a great running game. So it was a balance between personnel, motion, shift on 1st and 2nd down that Matt Ryan was really, really good at, moving the sticks and keeping them in effective 3rd down distances. The final was 26-24 Atlanta. To me, the difference in this game was the Eagles' inability to adjust their game plan based on matchups as the game went. It was clear that the Falcons wanted to take advantage of any matchups they had with Julio Jones, but if you look at the stat sheet and how many passes and catches Julio actually got, the Eagles didn't do a good enough job of taking him out of the game plan. And so Atlanta got to do exactly what they wanted. And even though the Eagles might have made enough plays to win this game, one mistake and missing a field goal cost it all. If there's anything to learn, if you're the Falcons, it's always take what you can get, play the numbers game with your matchups. And if it's the Eagles, you have players that can make plays. You got to get out of your own way and eliminate the mistakes to allow your talent to make a difference.